Welcome back to the Corey Bak'n Show. In today's episode, we're going to chop the 4x4 that's behind the curtain here. Let's open up a curtain and give you a look at what the plants look like this week. Now, as you know, this 4x4 was problematic pretty much this whole run. Today is day 57 of flowers, so we went a total of 8 weeks. I was going to let her go 9, but in the other 4x4, which we'll be taking a look at in a minute, that has the 2 Simple Jacks, Phenos 5 and 6 back there, and the Mighty Hose, Phenos 5 and 6. That's back there in the 4x4. Those plants are doing fantastic. So what I'm going to do, since I have those same plants, different Phenos, I'm gonna let those go 63 days, cut these down at the end of 56. So this is the end of week 8. I'm gonna cut them down at the end of week 9 and see if there's a difference. Another reason why we're cutting these down a little early, you know how bad this run went here in this autopot system. For the first time I'm running these autopots. It hasn't been a failure, but it hasn't been a huge success. They look nothing like that other tent back there, which I'm gonna show you in a second. Like I said, these plants took a beating. I had a deficiency lockout, pH problems. The pH kept swinging up and down. It was once we got deeper in the flower, phosphorus, potassium blockout. I went through the whole 9. Cow mag. Once you get closer in here, you're gonna see the spots on the leaves, the discoloration in the leaves for the nitrogen deficiency, the spots of the cow mag deficiency over here. And I didn't even have this light even turned up. This is the HLG Scorpion R Spec 600 watt light. I have not turned this light up to 100%, not even close. The highest it got in here was 70%. And I got leaf burn on that pheno back there. That's pheno number 2. That was the one that was doing fantastic during this run. It started off running great, then it started hitting problems. That's when I was telling you all about the deficiencies possibly coming from me having the cow mag, the silica, and all that in the reservoir. My reservoir was starting to stink after days, and I was trying to figure out what was causing that problem. Now, again, like I said to y'all, y'all know I'm new pretty much to growing in this cocoa. This is about my 3rd or 4th run. I thought I had it pretty much dialed in because the last few runs that I've had over in the 5x5, they look pretty damn good. But this one here was, and again, these are different strains that I'm not familiar with. So I was having a little problem in this, but as you can see, the buds, they look great, but they should just be bigger. And as you see the discoloration in the leaves, it started too early. You know what I mean? If it was like this and this was week 8, week 9, and they look like that, they were just starting to look like this, that's how it's supposed to go. But these plants have been going through this for the last at least 3 weeks, all the way to the end. So, like I said, I'm gonna take what I get from here. We should still get a decent harvest. Off of this plant here, this pheno number 2, which is the smallest one in here. Once this dries up, we might wind up with an ounce and a half at the most. This one over here, same deal. It's a little bit more, a few more buds down at the bottom, and they all pretty dense. I will definitely give it that. Even down here, they're dense buds, but they're not that big. So 2 ounces off of this plant here. And those across the back, that one there might give me 3 ounces because it's bigger. As you can see from top to bottom, all of the buds down at the bottom of this here are solid. Again, it's a solid plant strain. Smells fantastic. God, I got it on my finger now, my glove, and it kicks out an aroma. But this, for some reason in this system, like I was having all these problems with this over the last 3 weeks. You see these dead leaves, it just came too early. All of this here looks more like it was like light burn and a combination of some other stuff. But the plants definitely shouldn't have went through what they went through in this system here. And this is, again, the first time I ran these auto pots, trying to dial this thing in. Quite a few subscribers have mentioned that I don't have enough perlite in the medium to aerate it. In addition to that, the auto pot systems come with a aerator that goes into the bottom of these pots. So I'm going to purchase those. I'm gonna order those probably today. So I'll have those for the next run. But yeah, we got through the whole 8 weeks. I'm gonna take what I take out of this here. I'm gonna get these cut down, clean this up, because I have some more plants that I wanna put in here. The mighty hose, like I said to you on the last videos, those mighty hose that are over in the 5x5, those same strains, the phenos, 1, 2, 3, and 4, are now gonna be ran over here in this system. I'm gonna give this another run. I'm gonna straighten out what I didn't do right with my cocoa, and hopefully we'll have a more successful run on the next go round. But that's all I have for you in that. Oh, before I cut them down, I want y'all to see what the trichomes look like. So let me grab my microscope and give you a look at those. All right, we're back. And as you can see, we have amber trichomes and all cloudy trichomes in that shot right there. I'm looking at phenos number 2 right now. But yeah, as you can see, she can definitely come down. I could let her go another week. I'm gonna get quite a bit more amber in there, but it's not needed. As you can see, she's definitely good enough. So let me give you a look at one more plant here. All right, this is pheno number 4. Pheno number 4. And as you can see, plenty amber in there. So for day 56, 57 actually, she's definitely ready to come down. So you see what the trichomes look like? So now let's get to cutting. All right, we're about to chop these down now. This is pheno number 3. I just took the tape off of the buckets here and just put it up on one of the branches so I can identify which pheno is what when I hang them up here in the bathroom. And like I said to y'all, this is not big. I mean, this is very light in my hand. So I'm not going to get very much off of this at all, but the smell is dynamite. So I definitely can't wait to run this again, do a better job with it the next time around. But this thing smells. But let me get this one hung up. I'll be right back. And this one here is a little bigger, definitely feel heavier. Got a lot of little larvae stuff here in the middle. It's not going to amount to anything but a couple joints. But once again, smells dynamite and nice dense buds. Pheno number 4. Definitely bigger. A little bit more weight on her. It's faded out nicely. Again, should be around about maybe 2 ounces. Yeah, some of the stuff in the middle is pretty small. So yeah, 1.5 ounces, 2 ounces at the most out of this. Let me get this one up. Yeah, this is the last one. Pheno number 2. Did you see? Look how thick and strong and big this stalk is down here. This was the biggest one out of the 4 that were in here. This one, and as you can see, this plant was much bigger than the other 3. And again, nice dense buds. Should have been bigger than this. Hell of a smell. Let me cut this one, let you see what it looks like. Yeah, much heavier, much heavier. Just gonna be a little bit of weight here. So let me get this one hung up. Yes, definitely more weight on this one. Hopefully she tastes as well as she smells. So we'll get this one hung up and I'll let you see what they look like hung up in the bathroom, and then we'll get to the other 2 tents. All right, we got the plants hung up, all 4 of them. Got plenty space. I got my humidifier in here. I got a fan outside of the bathroom that we'll keep air somewhat circulating in it. We don't want a lot of air blowing directly on the plants because it'll cause them to dry out too soon. But we want the humidity to stay up here in the tent. And as you can see here in the bathroom right now, it's 68 degrees. Let me turn it for you. It's 68 degrees and 41% humidity, and the humidifier is not on yet. So once we close this door, put that back here so I can see it. Once we close the door, turn the light off, turn the humidifier on, it'll definitely get that humidity up into the 60s, high 50s, 60s, and the temperature will drop down a couple degrees. I rarely ever got it down, I've never got it down to 60 degrees here in my basement. Got it down to maybe 66, so I'm fine with that. 66 and around 60 with the humidity, and that's money. And that should take the plants no more than 7 to 10 days to dry. These anyway. This bigger one here might take a few more days. At more than 7, this might hit the 10, 12 day mark because it's a little bigger than these other ones. But this one right here, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing was dried less than a week probably. You know, it's not much on here. A couple solid buds up at the top, but there's a lot of small stuff down here at the bottom. So it's not gonna take that plant there no time to dry. But yeah, that's all I have for you with this tent and these plants. Let's take a look at the 5x5. All right, over here in the 5x5 with the Mighty Hose, Phenos 1 through 4, doing fantastic this week. Starting to get this one dialed back in because we was having a few problems. Remember, I told you I had the EC up pretty high in the reservoir, and that caused me some burn on some of these plants here. That one back here in this corner took it the worst, but as you can see, they all recovered, and the bud set on here is kicking now. This tent here, it was 2 weeks behind the other tents. So this is week 6 here. So we got week 6, 7, 8, and 9 to go through with these plants here. So they got plenty more time to grow. This plant here up in the front here took off first. The bud set on there and it's nice and dense. Wow, that's dense. This one here developed the fastest. And over the last, I'm gonna say week, these other 3 finally started catching up. This one here was the weaker one, but this one was going through the most problems. It took the overfeeding and the EC problems harder than the other 3 plants. But it's definitely recovered now. The bud set is nice. The internodal spacing is nice. So over the next few weeks, we keep this going at this rate, that's gonna be a hell of a cooler right here. As you can see, just like her sister, it's a little thicker up at the top, the center one, and then right down, as you can see, they swelling up nicely. So over the next few weeks, that's gonna be a hell of a cooler there. These ones up here in the front grew a little differently. Didn't get as tall, but I love the bud set over here. And like I said, this pheno here is growing faster than the other phenos. This one over here is starting to slowly catch up to this one here. But yeah, nice and dense, wow. But this is the one that had the red stem. Couldn't get this red out of here. A couple of subscriber mentioned, don't give them the cow mag because the cow mag got some nitrogen in it. And I totally agree with that, but I just gave them a light feeding of the cow mag. Cause I say the same thing here in flour, we don't need the nitrogen. We just need the calcium, magnesium. So you can use Epsom salt and that does the trick without having the nitrogen in it. But I didn't have any Epsom salt. So I knew if I gave it a small dosage of the cow mag, it wouldn't hurt these too hard, wouldn't affect these too much. Because again, we were at that time in week 5 of flour. So pretty much you can give cow mag up to about week 5, late week 5. By week 6, you want to pretty much be done with that cow mag. So week 6 and 7, you can give them the ripener, whatever you're using, the bloom booster. And then your week 8 or week 9, depending on how long you let them go, you can just flush them out with some straight water. Some people still give enzymes at the end like that instead of putting nutrients in there. But I myself, my last, in this case here, going to be week 9 in like the other reservoirs. Week 9 is just straight water. And I'm using tap water. So it's about 150 ppms. It comes out of the tap. So that's about all the plants are getting. But as you can see, this here for week 6 are doing fantastic. So now let's take a look at the last one, the last 4x4 back in the laundry room. All right, here in the laundry room, I forgot about the 2x4 here. Got the 4x4 over here with the other phenos of both of those tents up front. The Mighty Ho and the Simple Jacks, phenos 5 and 6 of both. And this is pheno 6 of the Mighty Ho. If you remember, I forgot about it. We put this in here because we had an extra clone when I cloned these plants. So to make my next runs even in my 4x4s, I'm only want to run 4 plants in a 4x4. I had an additional one. I said, okay, well, let's open up this 2x4 here and put this pheno 6 in here. And this pheno 6 is doing fantastic. I just cleaned her up last night, took all the big leaves off of her, and I'm just gonna let her grow. She's in week 4 of veg. So at the end of this week here, I am going to be flipping this girl in her flower. So let's take a look over here and we can see where that pheno came from. And we're gonna start back here. That's pheno 6, that plant that we just seen in the opposite tent, the 2x4. That's what she's gonna turn into after about 9 weeks. And then we're in week 8 flower in this tent here, and we're gonna let these go 9 weeks. This is day 57. And you can see these buds. Now in this tent here, I didn't have the problems that I had in the other tent, and you can tell. Look at the size of these buds. Now I kept saying everything else was dense. They were dense. These are rock hard. All 4 of these plants. And look how many tops I have on each one of these plants. They're swelling up, the buds are swelling up so big and hard from top to bottom, all down in here. This is solid, good stuff down here. There's a couple small ones down here, they're not gonna amount to anything, but I am very, very satisfied with the way these turned out and the way they grew. And it's just funny how we're just looking at the 5x5, we had the Mighty Ho's. And the Mighty Ho's are this plant here, pheno's number 5, I believe this one, pheno 5, and this pheno 6, the Mighty Ho. Look at how much shorter these are compared to the 5x5, how tall they got. And the reason why they got so tall also is because, like I mentioned in the other videos, I vegged those 2 weeks longer than I intended to. Told y'all about the problems I had, but we corrected it, and this is where we at now. But as you can see, these plants are doing dynamite. And this is, I think, did I just say week 8? This is week 9. We're going into week 9. Yes, week 9 of flower. So yeah, this tent here is week 9 of flower. And at the end of this day, like I said, day 57, we get to day 63, we're gonna be cutting these down. But as you can see, they're fading out nicely. They're just getting straight water now. And they get fed once a day until and I'm probably gonna cut back on that because I noticed the other day that they're drinking less and less water. So yeah, after maybe tomorrow, I'm gonna cut back on the waterings to probably every other day until the finish. But that's what the girls look like in here. Looking fantastic. Love the way they're growing. Can't wait to run them again. And we'll be doing that real soon. But that's all I have for you in this week's video. Oh, correction, let me stop real quick, let you look at the board like I normally do. Sorry about that. There's nothing up here, I ain't really add nothing, I just keep up with the days and need to circle that one. This is what's going on over here, Harvest Day, the 17th, that's what it was supposed to be, but I changed my mind here on tent 2. That's the one we just cut down because the issues we were having. Tent 1 is the one we got right here, the other 4x4, and that one's going to the 17th. The 5x5 doesn't come down to February 2nd, and then this 4x4, the 2x4 right behind me with the pheno number 6 of the Mighty Ho. Once we flip it to flower, we'll determine when that will be when Harvest Day will come, and I'll have that up on the chart, up on the board then too. All right, we're back. This is the day after I've transplanted. At the day after we cut down this tent here, I've reset the tent. I bought this, like I said, I was gonna put the Mighty Ho's over here this time, and that's what we have in here this time. Phenos 1, 2, 3, and 4. all over here. Now, when you first transplant into these the autopod system, they say don't use the reservoir right off the bat for the first 7 to 10 days. Hand water for the first 7 to 10 days. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be hand watering these to start them off. Then once we get them gone, get it rooted into, because I just transplanted all these also. Once we get it all rooted into this new medium, then we're going to turn the system back on, and hopefully we'll have a better success than we had on that last run. I'll keep my eye on it, and I re-amended this cocoa. Some of this cocoa is from the last run. Some of it is new. I added some perlite to this to help with the drainage. So hopefully that will get us through. Because like I said, and like I showed y'all, the root system from here was dynamite. It was more the plant itself and the deficiencies it was having. And I guess from the lockout pH and so on and so forth. But we're gonna make sure we keep this corrected this run here. But that's all I have for you on this one. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next one, stay Bak'n.